So I just got fired after working at my job for over a year. I just found out today, actually, that I got fired yesterday, about 30 minutes after my shift ended. So if you recently lost your job or afraid you might lose it in this economy and wondering what you should do, this video is for you. My name is Dom. I'm an artist and marketer, and as of yesterday, I am unemployed. And in this video, I do want to talk about um, my new plan and what I'm going to do to turn this trash box situation into a good one. Okay, well, first, I want to just get the yucky part out of the way and just talk about the feelings because it does really suck. Like, this wasn't my favorite job. It was not a job that I thought I was going to be at forever, but it is irritating. It's inconvenient. It's annoying. It's embarrassing, to be honest, to be fired. And even though, like, the firing, like, wasn't my fault, like, they sent, like, an email about, oh, you have to return the equipment. The company has decided to part ways because of like lack of work. I can't remember exactly how she phrased it, but it's like low demand or something like that. So, like, a bunch of us are just getting fired because there's no work to do. So, I mean, like, that, I get that. And I don't want to say fair, but I mean, it's a company, and companies do what they need to do to survive. So if they have a bunch of people on payroll who are not doing anything because there's no work, then I mean, I can't say I'm surprised um after that explanation, but I don't know. I'm also surprised. Another reason I guess I'm like a little embarrassed or whatever, or feel kind of a way about it, is because this job specifically, there was like a little bit of a past like laptop or past firing scare with a laptop email. So about I'm gonna say a month or so ago, this job like sent out a random email, like a random laptop return email, and it was very like generic, if that makes sense. So I didn't really know if it was meant for me or not. And then I asked the company that I was working with, and they never responded. And then I asked the company that like the staffing company that I was working with, and they never responded. So, but I guess that should have been a sign. And in hindsight, guess I should have paid more attention to that. But hey, so even though it's weird and awkward and embarrassing, like, I know that I'm going to be okay. Part of the reason is because I've been doing this thing, like trying to brainwash myself for success. One of the one of the content creators, business owners that I follow, Layla Hermosi, on YouTube, she mentions that she's done a lot of things to brainwash herself for success, whether that's exposing herself to certain books or podcasts or eliminating other like negative stimuli. So that's what I've been doing for the past few months. And I feel like it's really engineered, created a mindset like I don't know, like I can win, like I can do anything. And this job is very or losing this job is very upsetting, and it does kind of feel like a setback, but I still feel that way. Like I still feel like I can do I can do anything. It'll work. Um and then also another thing that I've really come to realize is that I can be angry and I can be sad, but those things, being angry, being sad, it won't pay my bills, it won't help me move forward. So, what I decided to do once I found out about getting fired this morning was I decided to kind of have like a pity party. Like, one thing I was thinking about was I'm not going to be too sad, too angry about this for long or for too long because I have other things to do. And if I am going to have a pity party, I'm going to, like, it's not going to last longer than I would actually go to a party. And I feel like I wouldn't really go to a party for like more than 6 or 8 hours. I definitely wouldn't go to a party for more than a day. So that's it. I've given myself like a day, although really honestly, it really turned out to be about more 6 more hours, or turned out to be about 6 hours, where I just allowed myself to feel sad and do all the sad things that I need to do. If that's cry, if that's journal, if that's, I don't know, watch videos to distract myself, or if that's talk it out or make content, whatever it is, I can do that within those 6 hours. And then after that, I make a plan and then I take some action, right? And I've been thinking, even though it is a annoying situation, that it could be a good opportunity for a massive change, for growth. One of the things that, or the big thing that I'm definitely planning to do is just to jump head first into digital marketing. I definitely feel that digital marketing is the way to go because I think we're moving more to like a results based economy, whether it's jobs and these layoffs and they want people who can get results, or they're firing people who aren't really, don't have work to do, things like that. I think we're going to a more results based economy without job security. Like whether you're working in a temp agency or a staffing agency, whether you've been working at a job for 20 years, whether you just got this job 3 weeks ago and you're still in training, like people are getting fired left and right. People are getting laid off left and right. There's really no job security because companies are more concerned with their bottom line and staying in business than with one individual employee having longevity or their specific livelihood. And that's kind of sucks to say out loud, but the game is the game. And instead of sitting here and, feeling bad about that, I'm going to take some action because feelings won't get me anywhere. Only the actions will. I can feel however I want, and the way I'm feel is going to change, but the actions are what's going to lead me to results. So let's just jump into what that new plan is for me. So it's definitely digital marketing. I had taken a couple digital marketing classes in the past. A couple of those were from HubSpot, from Allison, from Great Learning. These are all free learning platforms. A couple from Google, some from Skillshare, because I'm an education junkie. I like learning things. Like I feel like I'm kind of a nerd in that way. And digital marketing has been interesting to me because I am an artist and I try to sell all of the art. You can see some of it in the shot. Um, and after going to a bunch of trade shows, I realized like, this is not really sustainable. I got to figure something else out. So then I tried to learn as much digital marketing as I can and could, and then really like fell in love with it. So much so that I've kind of decided that selling my art isn't going to necessarily be my number one priority for a few different reasons I could explain later, but that digital marketing would be overall a better situation for me for income. So I think that's definitely the route that I'm going to take. The first thing I'm going to do is upskill. I'm going back to Google. I am going to get a certification. It's a Google Analytics certification. And then I'm also going to get a couple Google Ads certifications. Those are going to be super beneficial for trying to get digital marketing jobs, which I've decided is another pivot that I want to take. Instead of necessarily focusing on business and or not instead of necessarily focusing on selling my art as a business, I want to focus on getting those business skills as a whole, whether it's marketing skills, whether it's leadership, how to read financials and analytics. Like, these are all things that I want to learn about business. So I believe that working at a business that's already doing these things, that already has these structures in place, it could help to cut out a whole bunch of trial and error for me. And then I could also get paid to like learn and do these things for another company, which that like sounds fantastic. That sounds like a win. Like, I don't see why I hadn't thought of this too much or hadn't thought of this in this way before. I guess it was maybe losing this job that's kind of forced me to take action, and I guess I'm trying to look at it kind of positively. So after I get this Google Analytics and Google Ads certifications, the next thing I'm going to do is update my resume. I'm going to update my LinkedIn. I'm going to a whole bunch of places that I've previously had success in applying before, and I'm going to use that updated resume, cover letter, all those good things. And then I'm also going to create a website portfolio um, that has some samples of copy and things that I've created. That way, I don't have to keep sending people portfolios manually. There'll be a link that can be easily reached, and then a link through that portfolio where I can be contacted. So I think that kind of automation in a way is going to help make lead generation for me easier. Then, after I'm done with that, I am going to focus on money making activities. First, I'm going to focus on creating some content. I think that's going to be the best money making activity in the long run by far. This content, I'm thinking, I was very active on LinkedIn before. I think I'm probably going to go back to getting active there. And then also, I've been pretty active on YouTube, so I'm just going to focus on those two. Those two, for me, seem like the best platforms for getting engaged leads who are ready to make a purchase or a decision right now. And that's what I want. Making content also has a couple other benefits. Um, First, it would kind of be like a public resume or portfolio. I'm specifically planning on doing a lot of content on YouTube of me actually making marketing materials, me creating emails and creating campaigns and setting up landing pages and things like that. So it would be a great public portfolio. It would also help to build trust. If someone's seen, I don't know, 10, 20 videos of me setting up campaigns and setting up, um, creating emails and writing copy and doing all these things like you, they would more than likely trust that I can do that because they've seen videos of me doing that exact same thing. So there's that. Another great reason is it would be great for networking. I'm only one person. I can only do so much, but making content, I can reach people who are further away. I may be in Las Vegas or Atlanta, and I can reach people who are in San Francisco or in Utah, in New York or in Miami, right? So it helps to expand the reach and the network in that way. It also helps to build like a community. If there are people who have seen me do this work online through this public portfolio, through content, and they've seen that I can do this thing reasonably well, or they, I don't know, like something about me, then they may recommend me for opportunities or direct me to things that could be helpful, that could be useful. And so I definitely think creating content will hands down be a money making activity. And then the second thing, or a second money making opportunity, is outreach. And I kind of have that divided into like three kind of tiers or whatever. So the first is staffing agencies. I love staffing agencies, and I'm finding that there are a lot more than I knew about that specifically specialize in marketing and digital marketing, that specialize in at home jobs or remote jobs or work from home jobs. So there are so many different opportunities. And with staffing agencies, it allows me to multiply myself, kind of what I was talking about with the content. I can reach many people. I can do that with staffing agencies. I can send one resume, and then every time an opportunity comes up, a recruiter may have my resume on file, so they may reach out to me, or they may submit me for multiple other things. So it's a way to have a lot more opportunities. Um, so yeah, staffing agencies, pretty awesome. The second one is a like job search, like job boards. This would be your LinkedIn's, this would be your ZipRecruiters, this is your Indeeds. I'm going to be all over those. They have so many hundreds of thousands of opportunities that people have put up. And I'm learning a lot because, now that I'm unemployed, I looked for ways to, find more of these jobs or to make it easier or more likely that I would get hired. And one person who I found is a guy named Seth Jarrett. He is a YouTube creator who talks about digital marketing, right? And he mentions that, like, mm, and he mentions that these are like Indeed's, ZipRecruiter, LinkedIn. They're fantastic places to find entry level digital marketing jobs. So I'm definitely all over those. And then he also mentions that you can start at an entry level job and then leverage the work that you've done in that job, the experiences that you've had in that job over 3 to 6 months to get a higher paying job. So And then lastly is manual outreach. From a couple of the classes I've done before and a couple of things I've done recently, I got a list of prospects that I would reach out to. And specifically for these prospects, they would be people that I would be interested in working with, of course. So, one thing I would want to do is create like a sample for these specific companies that I'm super, super interested in. Not just so that they can have extra material, but just so they can see the way that I work, the kind of things that I can produce. And I believe that having a sample of something that you wrote specifically for someone is definitely better than not having one, right? So, so yeah, that's pretty much my plan so far. Um, it's not a super it's not a super laid out plan. It's not foolproof. There's going to be some changes and some adjustments, but I wanted to get a rough plan together and then take action because I know that's going to serve me better in the long run. So, in the interest of doing that, I came up with three goals that I'm going to do today, and then three goals that I'm going to do tomorrow, and then I'm just going to go from there. So, my first day one goals are to um, create this podcast. So, yay, that's the first one. Really excited about that too. And the point of creating this podcast was to actually have a plan, like to, even if it's not a super laid out, fantastic plan, it's something, it's a guideline, somewhere to start from. And having a podcast recording of that is going to be fantastic for later on down the line, whether that's using it for content, whether that's me using it for when I get lost and confused and don't know what to do. I have something to refer back to. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to complete that Google Analytics certification. Um, it says that this certification should take about 4 hours. I'm a few minutes in. I'm hoping to get this completed by tonight before I go to sleep. If not, first thing in the morning. Actually, tonight. I'm going to get that complete tonight. And then the last thing I want to do after I get that certification complete is I want to update that on my resume, update that on my LinkedIn, update that, and add some copy on my website. So that's day one. Day two, um, and I'm trying to keep it short to only three goals, like what would move me forward in the least amount of steps. Um, Part of the reason that I'm functioning in that manner is because of the things I've learned in the 12-week year and planning things to actually get things done. So I'm trying to keep it short, keep it brief, three things or less. So, day two, the first thing I'm going to do is update that website. Oh, no, I'm sorry. So, update the resume and the LinkedIn profile is day one. Update the website and the copy is day two. And then the second one is going to be to apply to 100 digital marketing jobs. So that's through those three channels that I mentioned before. I'm going to be targeting entry level jobs. I'm going to be using some keywords. Shout out to Seth Jared for these keywords as well. Um, Entry level, junior digital marketing, assistant, no experience, 0 to 5 years of experience, PPC, ads. I'm going to be targeting all of these keywords to be applying to those 100 marketing jobs. And then the third thing is just to create more content. I'm going to try and chronicle as much as I can. And I know it may be a little jarring to get through because I'm kind of doing this on the fly. I'm learning as I go, whether it's marketing, whether it's content creation. So if you stayed this far, if you stayed through the video this far, thanks. And come back for the next one. Come back for day 2.